You gotta love this setting on Saturday night at the 2023 Noble CrossFit Games. This is the 9th test for the men here. I'm Sean Woodland with former Affiliate Cup champion Adrian Conway. We got Mike Arsenault down on the competition floor. We got a ton of weights out there as well. Roman Krenikov is your overall leader. He was up by 100 points to start the day. He has been pretty good so far, but in the last test he made a couple of costly errors, and he has watched his lead go from 100 to 59 points over Jeffrey Adler.
That's right, that's a big chunk of points that disappeared, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's feeling a little bit more pressure here coming into test number 9, and we know the man chipping at his heels, Jeffrey Adler, he's going to move some heavy loads.
Here are your overall standings. Patrick Vellner right now sits in 4th place. He's only 8 points back of Chandler Smith for that 3rd and final spot on the podium. And as I mentioned before, Jeffrey Adler only trails Roman Krenikov now by 59 points. It's the Olympic total. It's the CrossFit Home Run Derby.
You tell no lies, Sean. It's the Olympic Home Run Derby here. We're going to get 2 attempts at a maximum snatch on a 20-second interval, and then 2 attempts at a max clean and jerk.
Recipe for success is delivered by Trifecta.
Yeah, the trick here is to snatch what you can. Understand your potential here with the snatch, the fastest lift in the world, and then of course, play the game with the clean and jerk. Just try to out-pound your competitors to finish where you need to.
Let's send it down to Mike Arsenault, who's out there on the competition floor.
Sean, the atmosphere difference between the competition floor and the athlete warm-up area is like night and day. Behind the top 5 athletes kept to themselves, the tension was so thick and you could barely hear a sound other than weights being dropped periodically. Compared to out here, thousands of fans. We'll see if any of these athletes can eclipse 700 pounds like Jack Farlow.
Second and final heat, 15 men will be on the floor. Roman Krenikov, he's your overall leader, so he will get to go last and see what everyone else is lifting. There is Roman. Overall leader Roman Krenikov is going to have to wait for 14 other men to lift, and Noah Olson's going to kick us off here. Round number 1 of the snatch. The barbell has to go from the ground to directly overhead without pausing at the shoulders, and Olson's going to miss his opening lift at 260 pounds.
That's right, Sean. It's the fastest lift in the world. They got a 20-second window to execute it. He just needs to start picking up this bar before the clock expires.
And Noah Olson will make that. His 10th straight appearance here at the CrossFit Games saves that lift. And now we go to Colton Mertens at 271.
Colton Mertens with a smooth opener there.
Now to Will Moran. 266, no problem for Will.
Easy for Will. A lot of these athletes, Sean, are going to make the approach of hitting a weight that builds confidence for them into the second attempt, and then they get to go a little bit bigger.
Now we go to Jonakowski. You mentioned the second attempt. Usually, these athletes get 3 attempts. How does that change things for them now that they only have 2?
It changes things tremendously. I'm going to be honest. It creates a lot more urgency and very, very small margin for error, knowing that if you bomb out and you get a 0 for this snatch, you're going to be several hundred pounds behind your other competitors.
We saw Dallin Pepper on the right side of your screen hit 271 for his opener. Now Jonakowski, the man who won the opening test of these CrossFit Games on Thursday. The 3rd time in his career he has done that. Now we go to Lazar Jukic. 270 pounds for Lazar. Is good.
He hit it. Sean, one of the questions I asked Coach B when he was up here with us in the booth, a renowned Olympic weightlifting coach who's been doing it for 50 years. He said, you can throw all of what we know out the window when it comes to a set percentage of how to open, because these athletes have been through so much so far in the last 2.5 days. They really have to base it off of how they feel.
250 is good for Bailey Martin, representing New Zealand here. And now Jelle Hosta, an impressive rookie out of Belgium, won the 5K earlier today to pick up 100 points. Currently sits in 8th place overall with 524 points. He will make it. That brings us to the man known as the Professor, Brent Fikowski, with 286 on the bar.
Brett still got time here. Get back on the bar, go through his ritual. Couple deep breaths, a little shake.
Unable to make it, so Fikowski is facing some pressure now. The River Carl Gudmundsson at 95. Knight is clearly not 100%. Just trying to get a score on the board.
That's right, strategic move by his part. Accumulate a few pounds, stay in the fight, do the work minimum so he can stick around and compete.
Now to Jay Crouch, out of Australia. 245 pounds for his opener.
Jay did a great job there, staying composed, being patient through the pool. This is a fast lift, folks, if you're watching from home. But it's necessary to be patient as you stand off the floor and build speed the taller that you get.
Here's Pat Vellner, who's a crowd favorite here. Currently sits in 4th place. This is his opener.
He's got to finish the pool here.
And there it is. Now another crowd favorite, Chandler Smith at 280. And that is good for Chandler. Trying to hold off Vellner for that 3rd and final spot on the podium. Jeff Adler, 2nd place out of Canada. He'll open at 276 pounds. And that is good for Jeff Adler. He only trails Roman Pentecost by 59 points. He shaved 41 points off that deficit over the last 2 tests. And Pentecost is at 265, trying to get the crowd behind him.
Jeff's eyes are directly right on Roman, seeing right through him.
That is good. Round 1 is done, and we will go back to Noah Olson.
Great lift there for Roman, and a great way to kind of set the precedent for some momentum going forward.
Noah Olson going for 275.
15-pound jump here for Olson.
It's a big lift for him if he can stick this type of load after these 2.5 days.
And able to fight through that. And stand it up.
10 years in the game for Noah Olson, Sean.
There's Colton Mertens at 286 to take the lead from Chandler Smith. It looks like he gave a little shake in his head there. Gonna go again here. Won't get it. There's 286 for Will Morad. This will be the top lift you've seen so far.
Will smokes it, and these athletes, as we're watching this, you got to understand they have more in the bank. It's just that we're seeing them play the game, build confidence for as they go, and they're also dealing with a tremendous amount of fatigue. They got to make sure they get numbers on the board.
Alan Pepper at 288, 12th place overall, and he will stick that. And that's the new top lift. As we work our way through the 2nd and final round here of the snatch portion of the Olympic total, the clean and jerk is next. And here goes Janikowski at 280 pounds.
Is really going to have to punch under the bar here in order to stabilize this load. 280 is going to come crashing back down towards the ground if he doesn't.
Not able to make it. Now it's Lazar Jukic at 277. That is good.
Lazar does a phenomenal job of receiving the bar overhead with his hips directly under the load. It helps him stabilize and get it right up.
1 left.
Randy Martin is good at 250, now at 277. That is good.
Great lift for Bailey, an athlete we saw compete here at the CrossFit Games as a teen athlete.
1
Yella Hosta up next, 275.
Talked about this in the last heat, Sean. If they miss it behind him, there's a chance. You just got to stabilize it. Stick it right where he wants it. Direct it over the middle of the split while the bar's over his head.
Well, this will kind of posted the same when he cannot. Now, Brett Fikowski, who misses opening lift, with no 286.
Folks, if you're watching at home, that was his happy face.
And now Bjorn Carl Gudmundsson, who is clearly dealing with something, is just trying to get a score on the board here.
And this breaks your heart for an athlete like BKG, someone that is certainly a fan favorite, 10 years at the CrossFit Games, taking the time to soak it in and show the crowd some appreciation.
His rookie year was in 2014. That was the last time he finished lower than 90. Here's Jake Crouch at 265 pounds. Jake Crouch in 5th place overall with 555 points. He's only 1 point back of Pat Vellner. So Vellner going up to 281. 10-pound jump. And that is good for Pat Vellner.
Big lift ahead of you there.
Now we go to Chandler Smith, the man trying to hold off Vellner and hang on to that 3rd and final spot on the podium.
293 pounds.
And that is good for Chandler Smith.
He says to his coach, I should have gone up in the crowd.
Now Adler at 282. Going to take these athletes' heaviest lift in this portion and add it to their heaviest clean and jerk for their final score. And Adler sticks 282 pounds with ease. Now overall leader Roman Krennikov, 276. And that is good for Roman. And now we move to the clean and jerk portion.
Now we're going to narrow the hands in and segment this lift into 2 portions. The athlete's got to get it to their front rack position, receive the bar, stand it up, and then press or jerk the bar overhead.
315 for Noah Olson.
Noah resorting to a power clean.
10 seconds.
And that is good for Noah Olson at 315. Over to Colton Mertens at 326.
3, 2, 1, lift.
Mertens going for 326.
Wasting no time getting that barbell overhead.
That's another quick jerk right there. Reduces time under tension, the bar stays on your body less. Sometimes allows for more explosive jerk overhead.
Will Moran is opening attempt at 315. Dallin Pepper at 326.
Good save by Dallin. He caught that bar far back in his heels.
Go to the man from Finland, Jonokoski, 316 pounds on the barbell. That is good. Lazar Jukic up next at 317 pounds.
Wow, great clean by Lazar.
It's his 3rd career appearance at the CrossFit Games. He's finished inside the top 10 in both of them. And right now, 10th place overall.
Sean, I say that was such a surprise. I know he was struggling getting bars into the front rack position early this weekend from the spill he took on the bike in test 1. It's good to see him recovered enough to be able to still clean and jerk heavy weight.
Bailey Martin at 315. That's good for the teenage competitor here at the CrossFit Games back in 2017. His individual debut. We go to Yellow Hosted. 295.
Another rookie at the CrossFit Games who put on a show earlier for us. winning and taking home the 5K.
Now we go to Brent Fikowski, 330 pounds for the professor. And that is good for Brent Fikowski. And that puts him in the lead with 616 total pounds. Carl Rubenson just again trying to just get a score on the board here. Move to Jay Crouch at 325.
2, 1, lift.
Jay Crouch, 325.
That counts. Pat Vellner going to 327.
Pat's gonna have no problem with the clean. Sometimes that overhead position gets away from him. He's got to jump the bar up and back. Oh, he's got it.
That is good for Vellner. That moved him into third place. Here is Chandler Smith, whose father, Rod, went to the University of Florida and played football there, and watch for a guy you may have heard of, Emmitt Smith.
I think I've heard of that name before.
Chandler muscles through that at 325. And we get to Jeff Adler, who's going to 340 pounds. That lift puts Chandler Smith in the lead. 618. Is good.
Routine lift for Adler is one of the strongest men within our community. He typically approaches these strength tests by just doing what he needs to do to finish where he wants.
Roman's running off to close out round one at 330 pounds.
Wow, some saved by Roman.
And that will count for Roman Krennikov. Second and final round here. Jeff Adler is in the lead right now in this heat as Noah Olson goes to 330.
10 seconds.
And the jerk is good for Noah.
Great lift by Noah.
Colton Moon's up next at 340 pounds. Now we go to Will Moore at 331. Dallin Pepper, fourth place right now. We're going to add to his total.
Easy money.
That is good.
Great lift for Dallin. This test feels that way. A lot of folks watching at home, Sean, are going to assume, oh, he could have put more weight on there. He could have gone for it. But boy, you always got to figure out if the juice is worth the squeeze on those couple extra pounds. You got to get a sure lift.
Youngkowski to close out at 336 pounds. Second and final attempt for him. Not going to have enough time to get another attempt here. So here's Lazar Jukic. Total of 594 right now. Moves up to 330 pounds. He's good at 317. So he'll add 13 more to his total. Up to Bailey Martin, who goes 346. Martin making a big jump, a 31-pound jump here.
Clean there by Bailey. Dip and drive. Big jump here for him. And he sticks it.
That is good. Now the yellow host at 315 pounds. He's going up.
You gotta love the sound effects from Yellow.
Won't be able to stick the jerk. Now we're going to Brent Fikowski. 343 pounds for Fikowski. He's going up by 13 from his last successful lift.
Gotta love the emotion. Brent getting fired up, bringing the crowd with him.
Brandon Carl Rubenson, who's not going to make a second attempt. He just put 95 pounds in the bar just to stay alive in this competition. Jokingly trying to get the crowd behind him as he knows he's not going to make an attempt. And we go to Jake Crouch next.
That's right, we're nearing the final line. You see a lot of jumping around, a lot of preparing their bodies for this heavyweight. This lift means everything to these last five.
That is good for Jake Crouch. The top scorer in this test for the prior heat was Jack Farlow, who put up a total of 701 pounds. That's not in any danger right now. We're fighting for second place here. There's Vellner at 342. A 15-pound increase from his first lift, and he will make it. Right now, that ties him for 10th place in this test. Chandler Smith at 335.
Little split clean action.
And that is good for Chandler Smith. Unorthodox but effective.
The summary of his Olympic weightlifting career.
Now Jeff Adler at 360 pounds. This is a big lift for him. Right now, tied for 13th in the test. They're going to move up here.
I'm surprised by how big this jump was, Sean.
10 seconds.
And that is good for Jeff Adler. And he takes the lead in this heat with 642 pounds as Roman Krennikov has got to hit this. And he will. And with that, test number 9 is in the books, and Jeff Adler is going to take a tie for 4th unofficially. Krennikov listed at 16th unofficially, so Jeff Adler is going to shave even more points off that lead. Unofficially, he's going to knock that deficit down by another 42 points.
Here comes Jeff Adler.
Make that 46 points unofficially. But it's Chandler Smith who put on a show here, starting with the snatch, and then, like you said, just muscling his way through.
Should have gone up, coach. And then Adler with 360, honestly making it look almost effortless as he sets up for the shirt. Tremendous reserve in his leg drive. Pops off the jerk.